important to understand in terms of what we meant by an interfaces. Okay, so before starting this one, so what is an interface? What is an interface?
Sir, interface is a Java concept which has been introduced for the purpose of mitigating the issue of multiple inheritance.
What is multiple inheritance?
Multiple inheritance is like class A is there, class B is there, and if class C wants to inherit the properties of class A and B parallelly, then it is called as multiple inheritance.
See, multiple inheritance means, for example, I have a method in class A and in class B with the same name, with the same parameters. So then when I wanted to inherit or whenever I wanted to extend that particular method into the class C, at that point of time, we don't know, or the compiler will not understand which particular add method would be called into the class C. So this is called diamond issue or ambiguity issue, or this is called the multiple inheritance. At one point of time, if we wanted to inherit both the classes, it is not possible in Java. So now, to overcome this particular problem, to overcome this particular ambiguity issue, so interfaces are introduced into the system. So now we need to understand what is an interface, and we wanted to also discuss what is the difference between an interface and a class. So first of all, let me define you what is an interface. Then we will discuss the differences between a class. By default, you can understand this one. Now, when we wanted to add method in a class, now what we will try to do? So we will be writing this one, hey, public static void and add. I'll be defining this particular body. I'll be implementing this one. Yes, so summing of all, returning the values, blah, blah, blah. What we will be calling this one? So this is called method signature. And so this is what we have been declared this particular method. And this is means when we have it inside these flower braces, we will call this as body of the method, or we will call this one as an implementation of this particular method. Now this is called a method, right? Now, whereas in the interfaces, we will have only the declaration. There would be no implementation. So now if I wanted to define this one, I have to be add public void add, and then I'll just close this one. I'll not even have this particular implementation of this particular body. Means this is dummy, empty. I don't have any implementation. These are called as abstract methods. Abstract means we have hidden this one. So we didn't implemented anything. So these can be called as an abstract methods or unimplemented methods, right? So now interfaces will have all unimplemented methods only. For an example, now in an interface, I have add, subtract, multiply, div. All these are unimplemented methods. So now this is where an interface is defined. See, in a class, I will not have this particular unimplemented methods. In a class, I'll have all methods are implemented. But in an interface, all methods are unimplemented. There is no implementation for these methods. If there is no implementation for these methods, then why? Don't worry. Remaining classes, other classes will implement this interface. You remember it, right? When I'm extending, I have used the extend keywords. Now, when I wanted to, in the interfaces, hey, these are empty methods. I need to implement this one, right? Then I'll use the implements, this particular interface name, so that I can implement this one. So now there are certain thumb rules for this one. The first rule of this one is how many methods are here? I have 4 methods.
4.
All 4 methods should be implemented in this particular class. Now you take any class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. Now in any of these particular classes, if you wanted to implement this particular interface, I'll call only add method, I'll call only subtract method, it will not accept. You need to call all the methods. So now in the class, if I started to implement that, I have 10 methods, means all 10 methods you need to implement it here. And if you see here, now I'll be implementing with the same name. I'll be implementing with the same name. I'll be implementing with the same names. Okay. Now class 1 implements interface. This interface, right? Now I have all the 4 methods I'll be implementing in the class 1. And the 4 methods will be implemented in the class 2. 4 methods will be implemented in the class 4. All in the class 4, I'll be implementing class 4 methods. Okay. I'll stop it here. I'll explain you this one in terms of the coding, and then later on I'll go step by step. Okay, so to do, first of all, you need to remember one most important pointer for this one is, the first point is all the methods in this particular interfaces are unimplemented methods. The second pointer for this one is, when you wanted to implement these methods, all the methods should be implemented, not specific methods should be selected. The third most important pointer you shouldn't never forget is, interfaces will not have constructors. If you don't have a constructor, can I create an object?
No, sir, no object also.
That's it. So fourth pointer is, you can't create an object for a constructor. Job
That's
done.
why we saw yesterday. That,
now you can correlate. That is the
yes.
reason we have been seeing this upcasting yesterday. So which is the dynamic polymorphism which we talked about yesterday. So those things we will talk today. You'll understand this pointer. So the most important point is at the 3 and 4. If you understand this 3 and 4, you understand the selenium concepts, half of it. The first pointer is in an interface, all the methods are unimplemented methods. And all these particular unimplemented methods are, when we try to implement it, all methods need to be implemented. Third pointer is, there is no constructor for this particular interfaces. And when it is fourth pointer, as there is no constructor, we can't create an object for any particular interfaces. So this is what called as an interface. Okay, now let me go back and then try to see that, and I'll let you know. So just give me 1 second.
All methods are also public side, sir.
So,
That's
sir, while declaring the methods in the interface, is it possible to provide parameters there for methods?
You can try it out, right? Just hold on. I didn't even started explaining it.
Okay.
Yes, and one more thing. So before asking the questions, you just try out yourself, right? Why you are not trying, and then every time you are asking me, that you can try out and then you can ask us, ask me back, right? If you are stuck at any point, you can ask me, but without trying, you shouldn't ask, right? Coming back here. Coming back here, once again, it was shared with this. I wanted to share this. Okay, now I hope everyone is able to see my window. So I just wanted to go to the Java perspective. Okay. Today we wanted to start with interfaces, right? So I'll create a new package. Package name as com.demo. Interfaces demo. Okay, finish. I created a package. Now what I wanted to create, I wanted to first create an interface. Now the interface name is okay, just understand, I just giving some random name, web driver. Okay, just understand the name of this one is a web driver. Okay, finish. I created a WebDriver interface. If you see here previously, this is public class name. So previously, whenever you created a class, it will come as a class. But now it is coming as interface because we created an interface now. Okay. Now, what I told you the 4 pointers for you. So the first pointer is this would be unimplemented methods. Okay. So the first pointer, I'll try to do that one. Now, what I wanted to do, public. Okay. What I wanted to do, open browser. Okay, just I will write the common, right? So open browser means it will open the particular browser for this. That's it. That's it. This is I declared a method name. Now what I'll try to do, I wanted to take some methods of this, right? Now what I'll try to do, I'll say that close browser. Okay. Next, I will try to refresh the browser. Refresh browser. And next one, minimize browser. Minimize browser. Next one is maximize the browser. And this is what you play with this one, right? Maximize the browser. Okay. So now these are the 5 methods, right? Refresh, minimize, maximize, and okay, I'll see this one also. Clear the browser. Okay, clear browser. So now I have these many methods are here. That's it. This is an interface. Very simple. I created an unimplemented methods. Now let's try if I wanted to create anything here. Okay, so see, it was throwing me error. I don't have any syntactic error, but see, what is that error? See, abstract method don't specify any body. This is an abstract method, boss. Why you are defining the body? That is the error message. So now I wanted to delete it. So now in interfaces, I can't define the body or I can't define the implementation. Is it hard defining an interface? What I did, very simple. I went here, I went new. As it is, I create the class, I created an interface, I given the interface name, and in the interface name, I have been taken this one. Okay. So now what I'll try to do, I'll change this one to web browser so that you will be understanding very clearly. Okay. So web browser. Now always remember that the file name and the interface name should be same. Okay. So now you can go back here and then rename that particular thing web browser. Okay. So now web browser. So here I can see these are the unimplemented methods which I have it. Now let me create few classes. Now what are the classes which I wanted to create? I will create Firefox is one browser, right? Firefox. Okay. And I'll create another couple of classes next. What is the other browser? Chrome. And other one I can use it as Edge, and I can use it as Safari. Okay. So now I created 4 browsers. See now, if you see here, this is my web browser, and these are my different browsers which have been created now. So now I'll go for each class and I'll try to create a particular method. Now this is a class. Now you see it, right? Public class. Previously it is interface, right? Now here what I'll do, public what, okay, and self browser. What is that self browser name? I'll try to print it out. Browse. Sorry, I'm thinking something else and I'm going to show. Okay, SYSO. Now here I'll say that I am in the Chrome browser. Okay. I have been given this one. Now this is Chrome, right? Now the same thing, I'll give this one. Okay, I'll name this one also so that it will be, I don't want to override this method. Okay, search browser Chrome. Now I'll go for Edge. I create a method name here. I'll say that this is Edge, and I'll say that this is Edge. Now I'll go to the Firefox. I'll paste the same method. Now I'll say that this is FF Firefox. Okay, and I go for Safari. I'll do the same thing. I'll keep this one as Safari, and I'll keep this one also Safari. Okay, so now very simple. What I did, I created a interface with the public interface with the name, and I created 6 unimplemented methods. Now I went to this Chrome, and I created 4 classes: Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Safari. We have 4 browsers, right? I created the 4 browsers, and out of this particular process, I created each method. In each class, I'll be having the methods. Now here, what we have done, we wanted to, now this is an interface, and this is an unimplemented interface. Now I need to do the implementation, right? Now what I need to do here is, I'll be using a keyword that implements. Okay, now this is web browser, right? Okay, I'll keep this one. See, as soon as I given here, it was throwing me some error message. What is that error message? Let hover on that and see. Add unimplemented methods. See now what it was saying, that add unimplemented methods. Now if I click this one, by default, whatever the methods which have been written there, all methods will be coming over here. You remember, right? In the web browser, I defined the 6 methods, and all these particular 6 methods started to ask for the implement here. And if you see here, now every method is getting override, because browser, in the interface, these are not implemented. But whereas in this particular Chrome, now these methods are need to be override on this particular methods. Okay, so now we need to override these methods because the implementation was going to happen over here. Now let's do one thing. So now let's start doing that particular implementation. So now what I'll be trying to do, sys out. Okay, so I'll say that. Okay, now I am opening the browser. Which browser is this here? Chrome. Okay, so now the same thing. It is G. I'm trying to do the implementation now. If you see here, I'm trying to do all the implementation. So now this is what I'm adding the body for this, right? That is what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to give this Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. Now this is clearing browser. Okay, and then this is max the browser. This is mend the browser. This is refresh the browser. This is close the browser. Now everything this is in the Chrome. Now you've seen it. So these are interfaces, unimplemented methods, right? Unimplemented methods. Now what I started to do, I started to implement them. So this is how I started to implement it. Now, if you see here, if I remove any of this particular method, for an example, I don't want her to use that particular last method. You see it, it throw me error. That means the second thing, the second pointer which I wanted to say, we have been discussed is, right? Now you see by default it was there. Okay, so now you see here, we have to implement. That means whenever you have an interface, in interface, every method should be implemented. It's not that I can take only one or two. If there is 100 methods in this one, all the 100 methods should be implemented. So that's the reason you have to be cautious. In this particular interface, what are the unimplemented methods which we are trying to use it? So those methods should be here. Okay, now go back here. Now here you can see these all methods. Okay, this is what we have been implementing. Guys, we didn't do anything. Once again, I'll rewrite right here. First, we created an interface. In this particular interface, so we have been defined unimplemented methods. Or means this is a public interface method, and all unimplemented methods we have created 4 classes, and each class we have been created the one self method which is belong to this particular Chrome. So that is what we have been called here. And if you see here, now remaining methods have been called all these methods which I just used implements web browser, so that I got this particular methods over here. So now I just started to implement, just I wanted to print that particular information over here. Now I just wanted to see this particular method, whether it is working fine or not. Now I should have a runner class to execute this one, because I don't have main method of any of these things, right? Now what I'll try to do, I'll create a runner class for this one. So now I name this one as runner. Okay, I should have the main method, right? I asked add the main method also. Now I have the runner here. I'll remove all these things. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to access all these means. Now for an example, now if I create an object for this one, okay, don't give me a group answers. I'll ask specific persons to give me the answer. Okay, if I created an object for Chrome, what all methods I can access? Soumya.
All the methods which are in Chrome.
All the methods means here we have means interfaces methods which we have been implemented, and self method of the Chrome. Will we access all? So you know the self method of the Chrome and all the methods of this one.
Yes.
So if I create an object for this class, you mean to say that I can access this own method? So now this is own method, right? Own method. And will it access all other methods? Are you saying this?
Yes.
Okay, anyone know?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
interface does not support the
is
does
not
not
having the
support.
No, see, I don't want it to, please, I'm saying it again. Don't give me the random answers or group answers. I'll ask one by one. Okay, tell me something.
Sir, interface does not support the object because only the own method will only executed, sir.
You mean to say that only this particular method will be accessed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me, Sujit.
Sir, the constructor in the methods of interface is not there. So we need to first create an object.
Sujit, what is my question?
Only one method, sir, will be accessible.
Okay, what is my question?
How many methods will be accessible if we create the object of the class group?
So now this is this. If I means on this particular object, which I created an object for the Chrome, how many methods it can be accessed?
Only first
Now,
self method.
Okay. Any other answers? Anyone wanted to answer this?
It can access all the methods, interface methods, and that own method also.
Any other answers? See, I don't understand. Now, this is a class. I implemented this. I created an object for this. Now, the constructor of this one will have the default constructor of Chrome. It will allocate all the space for this one. And that is the reason we implemented here. Now, when I implemented this, all these are override methods. You remember previously when I overrided the child class method can be accessed right? Now the same concept here, right? Now if I have for this particular object, not only the self method, all methods would be implemented in the Chrome so that it would be accessed, right? You can see it's Chrome. 6 methods plus whatever the method which is in the Chrome that can be accessed. That is the reason we have implemented in the Chrome, right? Then if I'm able to access only this method, why I should have to implement? There is no point for doing the implementation, right? Then why we need to do the implementation? So you see the answer here for this one. Now I can access in the runner class, I can access all the methods, whatever things are there. So now if you see here, now I can open a browser. Now I can have this open browser. Now dot. So if I see here, now I can maximize the browser, or I can minimize the browser, and I can clear the browser, and I can call the self browser, and I can call refresh the browser, and I can call close the browser. That's it. It was able to see now when I created this object for this particular class of Chrome, which it implemented, it not only calls this own method, it also calls all the methods which we have been implemented here. So this will call all. And you see here, it's good this, you will get the output, but seeing that all things are called here. I'm opening the browser, to maximizing the browser, minimizing the browser, clearing the browser. Everything it has been called here based upon this particular object. Now, let me ask you another question. I take the same, I'll comment this. Now, I change this one to the web browser. Now, as you know that I'm not able to create an object. I'm not able to create an object because we will not have a constructor. Now, first of all, I'll show one more thing for you. If I do it in this way, can I do this?
No.
So now if you see here, this is an interface.
Yes.
I'm trying to create this one. Because it is an interface, the constructor itself not there. What I need to write it here? So this statement is a blunder. It's not a mistake. This is the question that people will ask you in interviews. Can I write web browser means the interface obj equal to new interface?
No.
No. Why? Because
No constructor.
I won't have the constructor. That is the reason you can't create an object for this. Now, example here once again. So now I wanted to do this. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm taking that help of the child class. Now this here we are trying to implement, right? This particular child class, allocating the memory for this particular browser. Now, what is the capacity? How many methods it was implementing here? What is the capacity of the Chrome constructor now?
All the methods of
All
Chrome and web
7.
browsers.
Yes.
Means how many? In the web browser I have 6 and the Chrome browser 1. So how many? What is the capacity of this particular
7.
constructor?
7 methods.
7 methods. Right. Now I created this particular object. Now I'm asking you the question. Web browser, it has been came, right? Okay, I'm creating the object for this. Can I access all the 7 methods now? Or I'll be accessing only the 6 methods, or I'll be accessing only 1 method? What is the answer? So now, this is the Chrome. Once again, I'll be reiterating the question. Understand the question properly and give me the answer. In the web browser, I have only 6 methods. I implemented in the Chrome class. Now I have 6 plus 1, 7 methods. The self one method is from the Chrome class. 6 methods are implemented here. Now when I created with the Chrome constructor have capacity for 7 methods, so that all the 7 methods we are able to access when I created the object for this one. So now when I access for the Chrome, I'm able to access all the 7 methods. Now I'm going to create it for the web browser. Now with this particular object, how many methods are we going to access?
6 methods.
So 6.
Yesterday we discussed the same point, right? Do you remember that the parent class only it will access the parent class methods? So now here, if you see here, we can see that parent class methods only will be accessed. If I uncommented this one, you can see that on this uncommented, this particular method can't be accessed because this is a Chrome class method. Because you might give it to me, but I don't want your property. What usually our parents say. The same way. Now these all related to the parent. You give it to me, whatever I got it. I don't want yours. When the parent is taking, he will take only his property, not the child class properties. But when the child is taking, he takes his own class properties and the parent class properties also. So that is what the basic differences between here. I just wanted to change this one. So I'll change this also. See, Control F, if you click this one, it will open here. Now you can change the name equal to OBJ browser so that it can be easy for us. Okay, now I just put it. That would be generic, not specific to the Chrome. That's the reason I did it. Now, hope everyone understood that. See now, remember guys, in interview, many of the people I asked this statement. None of the people answered me. If you're creating an object for an interface, means you will not understand the concept of interface. Why we will not able to create an object for the interface? People will say that, boss, that is unimplemented methods. Because of that one, we are not able to create them. No, even if it is unimplemented methods, how it matter? The matter is they don't have the constructor. If I don't have the constructor, I can't create an object. That is what my basic object principle says to me. This is a constructor. I don't have the constructor, so that I can't create an object for this. So now that's the reason. If you see here, I can create this particular object. Okay, so this is blunder. Never ever do this. Not even a mistake. It's a blunder. Okay, now I'll remove this particular part from here to avoid the confusions. Okay, we can't create object for
interfaces.
We can't create object for interfaces as we don't have constructor. Okay. Now coming back to here. This statement here. Now let me take this. You see here. Now either I can create the object. So with that class, if I have been created, then this would be accessing all 7 methods. Right? 7 methods I'll be accessing the self method, self
and the 6
method
Implementations.
and
6 interface methods.
See, implemented means itself it's a interface methods. Now here with this one, I can access 6 methods, only implemented methods. Implemented methods. Okay. Yes. Did you understand this concept?
Yes.
You would be writing thousands and thousands of test cases with this particular line of statement. If you understand this statement, now you understood Selenium. That's it. Believe me, even if you go for the experienced candidates, you might know some people who are interesting, but just you go, keep this particular line in front of them and ask them to explain. That's enough. If they explain, they know very well the concepts. If they don't explain this one, they don't know. You tell me, after the matter of 30 minutes, we came to understand this one. But many people will not understand this. Okay, let me try now once again. Now we have been implemented this one for the Chrome. Now let's go for the Firefox and Edge. Okay, so let's go for the Firefox. Now in the Firefox also, what I will try to do, what I wanted to do. I wanted to implement for the Firefox. I'll just go here, gives this one. Now, once again, what is the error message for saying that? Boss, you go and implement this one. So now I can click here so that it will be coming over here. Now, what I'll try to do, I have implemented this one, right? Now I'll just copy here. I'll go here and I'll copy here. But this is not Chrome. This is Firefox, right? So Control A, Control Shift, realigned properly. Now this is all things are Firefox, right? Now Control F. Now I'll be writing this one as Firefox. Done. All things are Firefox. Now I implemented for this one also. Now what I'll try to do, I go to the runner class. In the runner class, now what I will be trying to do, I'll give this one as Fire. Okay, now what I'll try to do, if I just comment this line, okay, and here we will be having, right? So that's the reason I kept a self, but wanted I changed because you will understand. So this is why it was throwing error, because this method belongs to Chrome, right? This method is not available in the Firefox. That's the reason it is not available.
Object is from
Now,
Firefox.
what I wanted to do, so here I wanted to take this object and then I wanted to keep here self Firefox. Now you see here, with this single line of code, I'm able to access all these particular methods. Now execute it. What it was coming, see, it was going for Firefox. If you see here, now these method names are common, but implementation in Chrome, it is different. Because implementation is here, I have written implemented as Chrome. But in Firefox, I implemented this as a Firefox. See, in the runner class, what I'm trying to do, I'm just calling this particular class name so that according to that particular class name, we are getting it, right? Now, I'll make a small change here, okay? I just, instead of Chrome, okay, I'll just pass this one as Firefox. Nothing is changed. See, all these methods will work for me and it will execute for me. See, opening the browser, Firefox. See, interface, I'm creating the constructor. Now this is upcasting we discussed, right? Yesterday, allocating the child class memory to the parent class is called upcasting. Now, here instead of this particular Firefox, I just wanted to pass it as a Chrome. That's it. Now what it will print me? See, it was printing me Chrome because it was going for Chrome constructor and then it was allocating that memory. Now if I'm giving the Firefox here, now what it is trying to give it to me? It was trying to give it to me the Firefox. And Firefox, it was executing it and then it was giving to me the Firefox and it was giving to me. So that is how this was happening. So guys, just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Rajesh, just call to Chandu Rajesh. Yeah. If you see here, now based upon this, it started to execute it here. Now I got this all information. And if I'm giving it to the Chrome, it would execute me the Chrome. So this is called dynamic polymorphism. You see here, I'm not changing any line of code here. But based upon this, means based upon this particular constructor, it will understand that which methods I need to call. Either I need to call from the Chrome, Firefox. Now I implement for Edge and Safari also. The same way it will work for us. Now I'll go here. Now for Firefox, I'll just try to bring back this information and go to the Edge. I'll keep this one and I'll go to the Firefox. I'll copy all this and I'll try to keep it here and in Safari also here. And I'll just keep Control F and I'll keep this one Safari. This all. Save. I added the implements keyword. That's the reason it was throwing me error. Safari was done. Edge was done. Done. My implementation is done. You see now? You see? Now you see here. Okay, so I have my Safari. I just implemented this with a web browser. All my implementation of Safari is here. And this is my Edge. All I implemented this web browser. All my implementation is ready for the Edge. And this is for my Chrome. My Chrome implementation is ready. And my Firefox implementation is ready. Now I just go to the runner file. In the runner file, now I can access the Safari. Okay. I just keep this particular constructor names here so that it is easy for me to change. Safari, and because constructor name and the class name same, that's the reason I was just keeping over here. Now you see here, I'm calling with this particular constructor. Now what it will execute for me? It executed for me all the Chrome. Now what I'll try to do? I'll execute with Safari. What it will do?
Safari.
It will print me all Safari will be implemented. If I execute it with the Edge, I'll be having with all the Edge. See? And if I given Chrome, if I call the Chrome constructor, then it will call the Chrome. That's it. That is what the interface. For understanding these concepts, it taken me more than 3 months to 4 months. And it is very simple if you know it in a particular pattern. And this is called as dynamic polymorphism. Means during the runtime, it will take the decision which constructor it need to call. According to that particular constructor, it will call all the respective methods. So now this allocated the memory to this object. Via this object, these all methods can be called. And if you wanted to call the self method for that, then you need to create for that particular class so that the class can call all those particular methods. But if you're creating an object for an interface, it is a parent and the child. Now, only the parent class methods only it can be called. And this is called dynamic polymorphism. As the constructor is changing, based on the constructor, I'll be getting these particular methods will be called. So this is dynamic. On the runtime itself, we will understand. So that's the reason it is called dynamic polymorphism. Why it is polymorphism? Dynamic, we understand. On runtime means continuously, if I'm changing it, dynamically I'm changing Safari to Chrome and Opera means Opera or Edge, I'm changing it. So now this is dynamically it was changing. Why it is called polymorphism? Because according to this particular method, you see it, all these methods are override the parent class methods. Now this is the parent class methods. So yesterday we discussed, right? The child class methods will override the parent class and then it will access in this child, whatever the latest class implementation, it will be there. That is called polymorphism. So now dynamically I can change this one. So that's the reason it is called as dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism. Very simple, right? Always remember that method overriding concept will be used in the dynamic polymorphism. Overloading the concept will be using in compile time polymorphism. I don't want to go for compile time polymorphism now. Dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism is same. Dynamic polymorphism equal to runtime polymorphism. Okay, dynamic polymorphism means at runtime it will decide which constructor it need to call, and it will go to that particular constructor of the child class and it go to the parent class all child class methods will override the parent class methods. This is called dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism. And allocating the child class memory to the parent class memory, then this is called upcasting. And when I created this particular upcasting, only parent class methods can be accessed, not child class methods. If you wanted to access the child class method, create the object for the child class and access all the methods. And in interface, this interface will not be taken care, means the interface will not implement, interface will not have any implementations. All these implementations will be done at the class level, and the class can be accessed here. That's it. If you understand the concept of interfaces, this is the concept of Selenium. Instead of web browser, it will have web driver. So that is called as Selenium web driver. If you go for Selenium here, this is official website of Selenium. So if you see here, Selenium web driver. Selenium web driver is an interface, and it implements, means all methods are abstract methods there. Abstract methods means unimplemented methods. Now all these methods will be implemented by Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Safari driver, Edge driver. You remember that the same thing here, the concept which we talked about, Chrome class, Firefox. So those are the classes. Now that's the reason, if you write one piece of code, this code can execute for any particular browsers. Just you need to change the constructor name. If you change the constructor name, the remaining things will be executed properly. You do it in a major frameworks also. This is what the basic implementation will be doing it. See, for an example, in a particular frameworks, you see there is videos, driver, first case. You see here the driver factory. You see. Capabilities, we are setting it. Chrome driver, we are initiating it, and Chrome driver, new Chrome driver. If you see here, new Chrome driver. Same way here, new Firefox driver. Based upon, we use case statement. See, if you wanted to invoke Firefox, then it will invoke new Firefox driver. If it is a Chrome driver, it will invoke new Chrome driver. If it is a new Edge driver, it will go for the new Edge driver. And if it is IE driver, it will go for the new Internet Explorer driver. That's it. That's the concept of Selenium. And once the browser open, we will maximize that one. That's it. That's how the Selenium works. That is the reason I told you, right? If you understand the concept of interfaces, if you write 1,000 test cases, the first line of all your test cases is this. This is what your first line of code for 1,000 test cases. If you write in, so this is what. If you are able to understand this statement, then you understand the Selenium concepts. So this is the interface name, and this is the object name. New is a keyword, allocates the memory, and these are the constructors of the different classes. Dynamically, it will get this particular constructor allocation, and based upon this particular constructor allocation, so all these particular objects will be used. So if I wanted to access the specific methods of that particular class, I will be creating the object for this. Else, I'll be creating it for the interface, and then I'll do it. An interface, it's a completely abstract methods. And when we try to implement the interface, all methods should be implemented. And when we try to if we wanted to create an object for interface, it is not possible because it will not have the constructor. So that's the reason we take the concept of upcasting. With the help of the class memory, we will allocate the memory to this. And with that particular memory, all that particular implementations will be done. See now, why interfaces comes into the picture? The basic problem, what it happened. So the multiple inheritance is not supported. But by this particular concept, multiple inheritance is possible now. Now you see it, same method names from different classes. Excellent, right? In all the classes, same names. All the classes, same names. Okay, in runner file itself, I can see it, right? All the classes I have the same names based upon the constructor. It will change and then it will call that. See, this is the problem, right? If I have multiple classes, I can't able to access which method, specific method I need to call that. The constructor will not understand. But now here, now I have the same names in all 4 classes. Now, not only 1 or 2, 4 classes will have the same method names, but it know which method to call now. Got it? That is the reason interfaces comes into the picture. Excellent, right? The implementation of these interfaces. See, now all these particular 45 minutes, whatever we have been discussed now, everyone feel that, hey, it is very simple to understand. But when you're trying to do it, mark my word, you will confuse a lot. But still, try to go step by step as it is. You go back, see this video again, and then try to implement again it back. If you understand these things, half of your things are done. Okay, that's it for the day. Any questions? Stop recording.